Thank you, Dana. Thank y'all for showing up in this hurricane deal. Let's have a hurricane party. I always wanted to have one. And this is the proper place to do one. My name is Timmy Smith, and I am an alcoholic. 40 years plus drinking. That was my deal was drinking. I'm an alcoholic, and when I tell you my story, you understand the deal. Let me see how I'm gonna get this going. Friday, Dana did text me, and I agreed, and I had some smart stuff back to her, but that night I went to sleep, and I had a dream that I was doing what I'm doing right now in my dream. And all y'all, about 15 minutes into my talking, got up and said, let's take a break. And I'm sitting there going, what? This is the dream now. Then I get a text from Dana, and it's like, it's jibber jabber. What you're telling me is like, man, you're not making any sense up here. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But that's a true story. Let's see, my story I'm supposed to tell y'all. Let me see. I am a member of this home group right here. I try to be as active as I can in this group. It's a great, y'all are a great group, and I really do appreciate you. And I'll tell you that again at the end of my speech or my sharing. I want to dedicate this to the newcomer out there. I know there's a few of you out there, and I know you're struggling. I'm only 2 years sober, and I know what a struggle it is. And it's very simple to overcome. Just do the deal every day. Tell you how it was, what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. I was born right here in Southern Pines. I was a member of 2 parents and 4 brothers. There's 5 brothers altogether. One of us has passed. God bless his soul if he's looking down and listening to my story. It was an alcoholic family. Not just that immediate family. Outside, my cousins, they were all drinkers. Uncles, not all of them, but a majority of them were. My grandfather, he was a heavy drinker. My dad, he was a really heavy drinker. I didn't get to see his alcoholism because he started getting sober when I started becoming of age to realize what was going on. But I didn't catch the end of it, and I caught Sonny, and he did some binge drinking afterwards. So I knew a little bit about what alcoholism was. I had 3 older brothers, and they paved my way. So it was pretty not hard to do stuff I was able, what normal kids wasn't able to do, to get away with it, and not really get away with it, but I wasn't harshly punished for it. But I wasn't a bad troublemaker. People followed me because I was going out to have fun. Let me start though. I'm standing right smack dab on the pivot point, and I went 1.5 miles that way and went all the way around 1.5 miles, each directions. Probably 80% of my life is in that little circle. It's crazy. So my story's not going to be too tough to tell. It's all right here, from birth till down. I'm not dead yet. I was born in 1960. Tail end of the baby boomer generation. There's some baby boomers in this room right now, and I know you, and you know what I'm talking about. It's a generation of 1960s and 70s, and a lot of stuff was going on in that time, and having fun and partying was one of the things, especially in this neighborhood I'm in. Let me give you some of my schooling. I went to kindergarten right across the street over here at the Presbyterian Church, and from there I went to Catholic school, which is down the street down here, for 4 years. Catholic school was great. Those are all baby boomer people. I'm not gonna keep on a baby boomer. I'm just letting y'all know I'm in the baby boomer generation. And believe me, it was a great generation. It was a lot of fun. A lot of the kids in that Catholic school, we were real close-knit people, real tight. They were pretty much in the neighborhood also. When I was 6 years old, our family lived down in May Street down here, probably 6 or 7 blocks. We all grew up in a little house. And at 6 years old, we moved from there, right up here on Pennsylvania Avenue, 3 blocks. That was the center of the neighborhood. Bunch of kids in that neighborhood. A lot of fun. I'm not one of those people who can sit here and say that I had a great childhood. I didn't have any stuff holding, I didn't have that bad feeling, not feeling a part of or anything like that. So when I get to my first drink, which is getting ready to come up, I'm done with the family part. I'm gonna bring us into the neighborhood. My first drink was in this neighborhood, and it was I need to give you some pivot points. Camel House is right up here. Some of y'all may know where that is. That was a place where kids from all the neighborhoods came and hung out, not just my neighborhood. It was a playground. And it was, plenty of stuff to do. We had sandlot football, baseball, softball, basketball, golf. If you want to play, it was there. That place was it, and everybody met there. It was not only just a place for that stuff, it was a place where that was just a good place to get together and share a six-pack, share a fifth of liquor, and learn how to smoke marijuana up there. I'm not going to leave that. I did some partying, a lot of recreational party stuff, but that wasn't my story. I'm an alcoholic, and I'm going to get into some of the alcoholism. I went to school at Pinecrest over here. Went to middle school right across the street right here. That was 4 years here, and that was my adolescence. I was in adolescence. And that's all those kids in the neighborhood and all that, they went to school here too. And we started getting into, investigating into this life of fun and partying, drinking, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed. And not all the kids were into it heavy like that, but a good chunk of them were. I mean, if they weren't, I was with a person that was, I made sure that I was with the people that wanted to do that stuff. My biggest goal, I'm gonna get to my first drink. It was a 7-ounce Budweiser, no, it was a Miller High Life. And I remember that drink, it's like I chugged it down, and I remember the belch that came after that. That was wonderful all by itself. And not much longer after that, that little warm wave hit me, and it was on then. I didn't really get started real heavy into drinking then, but I just remember that which everybody I've heard at the podium speech say that. Adolescence, that's it's that time when all stuff's happening to you. That's when I started drinking. I was probably 12, 13 years old. Going to school here, got the Cam House in the afternoons, went to school. Before school, there was a place up here behind the school that we all met every morning, smoked the cigarettes. Before it was all over, we were drinking and smoking pot before we went to school. That's before I went to high school. This 9th grade was held over here, so I did 9th grade here. That's when it started getting strong. I had some friends, one had just passed away now. He was, the 5 brothers. We all, through the time, we'd have call him a sixth brother, would hang out, lived at the house all the time. This fella did, and if he wasn't to spend the night with us, I'll spend the night over at his house. My parents had a liquor cabinet. His parents had a liquor cabinet. And that's where I learned how to make cocktails. Nasty stuff, man. It's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then just make some orange juice and stuff. But I drank it, and I didn't drink it just to have fun and a little buzz. I drank it to get high. And it was all about that buzz, and whatever he did the same way. Went to his house, we drank to get high. Got driver's license in high school now. Now I'm up here at the Camel House. I got to go back to it. There was weekend drinking up there. They had like dances up there on the weekend, and I remember getting drunk at the dance. I remember my dad coming in there and grabbing me by the ear and dragging me out. You know, it's consequences. This was my consequences started coming home. That's when I first learned how to smoke, when I started smoking pot. I can tell you that story, but I won't. Because I don't want to get into my time too heavy. Because I got a lot of it. A lot of time, a lot of stuff to put into my time. I had two really good friends, and now we were all the same level of drinking. We were, you know, we drank before we went to school, and if we could take a lunch break and go and drink 2 or 3 beers, we would, and go back to class, and afterwards go to the Camel House or wherever, and we were getting drunk, and blackout drinking started coming along, especially when I started smoking the pot and mixing out. Those just did not mix good for me, because I'd either black out or I'd pass out. Pass out was better because you don't show your ass when you passed out. And I did a lot of showing my ass, man. And you know, I did. And the next day, you know, I'd walk around that, man, what did you do, you dummy? And I did a bunch of this through my alcoholic time, or early times. But it didn't affect me to where it doesn't matter. I was going to go get another drink. Once I had that drink, it got through a few days and some more drinking, that one was gone. Coming up on, now these same guys, I'm telling you about these 2 guys, I want to tell you that because we all drank alike, and I'm going to go ahead and, we all kind of went separate ways. One went off to college, and I stayed here, and I went to college also, but we stayed friends, but we always got together and we got drunk together. And one was local. He was a real close neighbor. He went a bad path. His alcoholism took him to where he just turned mean. And I tried, you know, but what he ended up in a bad place. He got stabbed to death. Direct result from alcoholism. And you know, I'm sitting there going, why, you know, I drank just like he did. Why am I not that way? This was a while back. The other friend, he was at the funeral. I was pallbearer, and me and him, we drank over his gravesite. You know, drank a beer with him while he rested. Now this is this third guy, real close. We were all close friends. He was another bad drinker. I mean, we were all a bad drinker. You know, I can't tell him like that. But I'm doing my thing. I do go to college, and I do good. I graduated. I got a 2-year degree. I really got nothing to show for it now, but I've got that. This fella, I'll give you his name, Kevin. I get a phone call, and he's dead. He tried to drink a half gallon of liquor and asphyxiated. So there's 2 of my best friends that I drank really hard with. So I'm sitting there thinking, these guys are dead. You know, I'm thinking I drank just like they did. But that didn't stop me. Along this time, I got 3 DWIs. They were all 3 years apart from each other. Where the final one, I lost my driver's license, you know, indefinitely. But you think after 3 DWIs, man, you got a problem. You know, I could have been in these rooms then. I didn't. Continued to drink. I got a lot of open displays, just a lot of tickets. They were alcohol-related tickets. Anytime I got in trouble with the law, it was alcohol-related situation. I did lose my driver's license. Now, I drove a scooter for a while, but, you know, I kept that minimized. I might have drank a little bit while I was driving it, but nothing major. But I never got a ticket, another on-the-road type ticket with alcohol involved or anything. I never got a ticket for that. And as a result of that, I'm going to have a hearing next week. I'm going to get that out of the way. So y'all pray on that for me, please. I'm going to need that. I don't think I need prayer. I think I'll be all right. During this drinking of 40 years, I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that really told me I should have quit drinking. I mean, I had a bad problem. Was when I was 16 years old. This group of people, friends of mine, neighborhood kids, baby boomer buddies, going to a concert. There's like 2 carloads of us, and going to Greensboro. Before we left Southern Pines, I drank probably 4 16-ounce Budweisers. And that's before we even left Southern Pines going to Greensboro. And I could drink like that. But somebody had a bottle of tequila, and somebody had a bag of marijuana. So I hit that tequila on the road, and the tequila hit me, it knocked me out. Got to Greensboro, I was passed out, but they woke me up to take me to the concert. I wasn't awake. I was just a walking zombie. And I was getting to the gates, and a friend of mine yells out, "Tim, straighten up, the cops are up there." And gosh, shit. They heard it and turned around. And said I walked off with them like I'm supposed to. I ended up on the eighth floor of Guilford County Jail at 4:30 in the morning. Didn't know where I was at and how I got there. I was like, you know, incarcerated and blackout on the same night. Now, later on in life, a friend of mine that was on that same trip, now he told me, it wasn't all that long ago, and he said we brought that story up, and he's like, man, you didn't just get locked up that night, you just about got killed because we made a pit stop on the way there. You know, everybody had to relieve themselves. And I was stumbling. He said, I was headed for the highway and this transfer truck coming. He said, if I hadn't caught you in the back, you'd have been splattered on the front of that transfer truck. So I defied death. That was one time. I defied death a few times. Those 3 WIs, that, I'm building a life of like, wow, man, and I didn't know what an alcoholic was. And here I was doing these things I was doing, and I did them all the time. I drank every day. There was very few. I went 2 weeks one time, and I forgot. It was over a girlfriend, I believe it was. Just try to hold on to the girlfriend. Well, when she finally did the deal, I went back. Drank every day of my life for 40 plus years. You new people out there, I told you I'm dedicating this to you. You're still young. Don't try to make 40 years. You won't. I'm lucky to be standing here to tell you this story right now. I went full circle. I'll tell you one more story. I'm down at the bars down here, and the bar shut down. And somebody gave me a ride home and dropped me off in front of my parents. My parents' house is right up here. Cameron House is. And they dropped me off, and I'm going, I don't think I want to do this. A booty call. I knew the female lived 4 blocks this way. So I kind of turned, I headed towards her house. And somewhere along the way, I went into blackout. And I got almost to her house, the house next door, and I knew this house. It's funny. I knew this house because I used to go visit. I knew the people that lived there a while back. So I guess my mind, where I was at in that blackout, I went into the people's house, one of the same people I knew then as new owners. And I went in there and I passed out inside the door. And I woke him up. Now the other man could have shot me. It's not a defying death situation. But instead, he came down, he helped me up, and I came to out of my blackout, and I was like, I didn't know where the hell I was. And I panicked, and I broke his front door, about broke it off the hinges. I damaged it, and I got away. And I got over to my booty call place, but I was hiding because the cops were coming. So I'm hiding back behind, and they find me. And this is another reason I'm telling you this story, because this is another time when I could have been shot by that man. I could have been shot by the cops. They arrested me. She had got involved with it. She knew what the deal was. This man, apparently he worked with them also. I went to the magistrate, and somehow, that crime like that's almost as bad as murdering somebody, breaking somebody's house at nighttime at that time. Although, and somehow they knew what I was doing, and they knew it was wrong, but they knew what. And somehow the magistrate worked out. I got a real low charge. I still got charged. It wasn't breaking and entering. It was just maybe trespassing, I think, is what I got it reduced to. So that's what I should have forgot. There was a higher power because someone was helping me out there. This man talked to me. I went down there and I talked to him. I told him I was going to work and pay for his door, and he had to sit down with me. And he knew I was in trouble, and he said, "Do you think you need to maybe get some help or all this?" And I was like, "Probably," just appeasing him, because in my mind, I'm not getting no help. I'm not ready for that. I should have. Damn, that's another time. Oh, shit. I'd be in here. But anyhow, I've done this speech a long time ago. But God had plans for me on that deal, I guess. I'm gonna step it up a little bit. Now, these are things that and the new guy out there, I'm trying to tell you this is. These things will continue to happen as long as you continue to stay in these rooms. If you feel like you're in trouble, stay in these rooms, because you know what? You'll just have a wonderful life. I am. I'm 2 years sober, and first, it's a struggle. Some crazy stuff happened to me my first year. I was like, my mind was repairing itself, I guess, and it's still not completely repaired after 2 years. That's after 40 years of drinking. Don't drink 40 years, man. I'm just telling you, don't do it. My body, I'm lucky. I'm strong. For 58 years old, I'm pretty healthy. I just did a stress test at the hospital about 6 months ago, and I passed it with flying colors. I didn't feel that way after I did it, but I'm very grateful. You talk about gratitude. My heart beats. I wake up every morning. I feel good. Don't get me wrong. My feet hurt. My back hurts. My hands, my elbows hurt. But heck on, I earned that. But that's all I've got. I've never been in no terrible car accidents. Knock on wood on that, because anybody that's got up this podium has always had some kind of bad car accident or something like that, but I never had. I could tell you about all the police things, how they treated me. They're all on my resentment list, but you know what? I could find my fault every one of them. I started getting probably around the middle of 2007, 2008, when the economy crashed. The jobs came to an end. Nobody was hiring me. The people I was working for, they kept me on because I was doing my job. even though I was smelling like alcohol when it came in, they just make sure I was overdoing a job where I'm not. But I was doing my job and I was doing it good. That came to an end. I couldn't get a job after that. Mostly because there wasn't any jobs because of the economy, because of what I do. But that's when my drinking kind of escalated a little bit to where I wasn't staying busy enough. I'm trying to figure out that time of my life, but I think I just was not staying busy enough, and I got complacent with my life, period. And alcohol was just, it was already there, but it was there then. Because all I was looking for was to get me a drink, and I didn't care about doing any chores, house chores, mowing grass. I didn't even feel like walking to the ABC store to get the liquor, but I definitely did that chore. Fortunately, that was another big deal right there. So I live right here in Southern Pines, right near, about a quarter mile from the liquor store. So alcohol is convenient for me. For about 20 years, I lived right there. So I had that going for me. If you want to say going for me, going against me is what it was. Income into the household was starting to not work, making bills, because my money was going towards it. Was, I wasn't gonna bring drugs into it, but there was for about 20 years. I'm gonna bring Amy into it too. She's my 30-year companion. We have not got married. I plan to do that, but we've been together 30 years, and a lot of fighting between me and her. And mostly because of alcohol, cocaine. Cocaine's a drug I'm gonna tell you about. If it weren't for cocaine, I wasn't addicted to it, but it sure as hell helped me drink the way I wanted to. I mean, I'd give me one good, nice, I never did it. I never smoked it. I never, but I could tell you about the one time when I shot it up, and that was the last time. I shot it up one time, and that was so good. It made me feel so good. I was like, I can't do this no more. That was a long time ago. That was way before I really got. But that's the only, and a bunch of other recreational drugs. I'm not going to get into those because this is about alcoholism with me. That cocaine allowed me to drink for 20 years without blackouts and pass outs. And but I was wearing my body down. But it came to a point where I was getting beat up pretty bad, and I just was not doing anything physical to really keep up with balancing out that the badness that alcohol brought, which was I was my mind was going, my body was going shot. I have a hard time lifting a brick, just so weak. I tried eating, shakes came. I just lay on the couch and that cover up and just shake. And it got to the point where if I get in the shower, I'd put one hand on the shower and wash with the other one because I would fall down. My knees were so weak. That's where I got to. I guess that's what they call DTs. I don't know. I had a grandma seizure once, or it was an alcoholic seizure, but it was intense. Went to the hospital for that. I'm just going to bring you through the bad times. It was about 10 years. Anyway, last 5 years were really bad. But last 10 years were like, up till 2 years ago. Went to 3 treatments. The first treatment I went to was 30-day. It was just 30 days of sobriety is all that was. Classroom, make me fill in the blanks with the big book, and I'm like having to look for the answers in the book. That was like, wow. And counselors looked at me, "You all right?" I said, "Hell no, I'm not all right, man." I was a zombie, man. I got through that 30 days, and I got out and went right straight back to the drink. I knew about Alcoholics Anonymous a little bit then. I started going to Alcoholics Anonymous. I thought I maybe started going before then. I was going to the meetings, but I continued to drink. got in trouble with the law. Me and Amy got in some arguments and fights, and the law got tired of coming to my house. And there was an incident where I got accused of, I got arrested for spouse, well, not just abuse on a female, and it wasn't nothing major, but it was just, you know, they get tired. Someone's getting arrested, and it was me. And it separated us also, and but didn't stop drinking. This happened a few times. Spent time in jail. I got bailed out. This was my brothers got me out. And I came out there, all three standing out there, and I was like, this looks like some sort of what do you call those? Intervention. Yeah, intervention. Yeah, ain't no intervention, man. We got you a ticket. You're going to South Carolina. Yeah, I agreed. You know, I was going to do something anyway. I needed to do something like that. I went to South Carolina to a treatment down there for 2 months. It was a 4-month treatment. But that was the Alice Nest. Now that's where I got a big taste of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. I went to the steps with a sponsor down there, and I did a pretty thorough job, but my whole mind was back here. It wasn't down there. But I got a taste of what, you know, what the sickness is all about and how it can be treated. And started getting desire. You know, I had the desire. I knew, you know, I was in trouble. But I got back. Now I had to drink some more. Now before I went to South Carolina, I went to another trip. I went down there to. This is in like 2016. It was the worst year of my life. I spent some time in Bethesda House down here in Aberdeen, but that's after coming from Samaritan Colony. I did 30 days. I spent 30 days down there. It was time. It was time well spent there, because, you know, I got some more big book down there and some discipline. And but my mom was still back at home. And I stayed over here at Bethesda House, and I did 90 and 90. I was walking back and forth. And, well, some of my 90 was at Samaritan Colony, and, you know, I didn't quite get 90 and 90, but I'd leave Bethesda House and go to meet, and I was making sure I wouldn't sleep that night. I'd stop by Piggly or that grocery store down there and get me a 22. There you can do one drink. I'll knock it down and go to sleep. You know, I might not drink again for quite a while, but I was still drinking. I wasn't willing. And this is going to the new person here. Since I've been in here the last 2 years, I've seen it happen with new people coming in. They did the same thing I was doing. They just, you know, they wouldn't completely surrender, and it's hard to do. It was for me. It's real hard. I didn't know. I was fearful of getting sober because I never lived a sober life, and I look back on it, and that's what, you know, a lot of this stuff was fear. I didn't have any trouble walking into these rooms and admitting I was an alcoholic. That never bothered me a bit because I knew I was an alcoholic. I was an alcoholic and just didn't want to quit drinking yet. And I was told that. And I was also told, you keep on 5 years from now, you're going to be dead. I was told that more than once. And the truth of the matter is, I would have been dead if I hadn't quit what I did. I probably 5 detoxes and 3 treatment centers, and and 51 days in jail. I'm not going to leave that one out. And that's been very important to my sobriety, because that 51 days I was in jail. Let me tell you something. That's when I learned who my higher power was, and that is, to me, it's God. I did some praying to God, and it really was not, you know, it wasn't about, you know, it was about, man, let's see if we can straighten my life out. And, you know, and I was, you know, and I learned how to go in there. I was in there, I was like, I've learned how I'll make it through this. Just, you know, after I was in there just a little time, I was like, you're on your own till you go to court. And that's what I told myself, but guess what, you'll survive this. So I went into survival mode then. But yeah, I prayed every day. I did some knee praying then. I'm not a person to get on my knees and pray. I like to pray on the outside. There was a little window there, and I prayed through that window where I could see where the sun was setting. And I was like, that's when I prayed to God. Or whoever, somebody help me. And it was about helping me get out of myself. I got out of jail and went straight and took a drink. Even all that praying and stuff I just told you about, I took a drink. And I drank for 2 months after that. But I had a guy, I met him as an acquaintance, and he's remodeling a house over here across the tracks, and I tore all his old plumbing out and I replumbed his house. I was working like 5 hours a day, and I was still drinking. He knew it. But he asked me every day, man, you going to a meeting? You going to a meeting? And I'll maybe going to a meeting here and a meeting there. And I was honest with him. I said no. And I knew he wanted me to do this deal. And I knew I wanted to do it too. But I really wasn't drinking that hard because I was doing that job for him. But he's getting ready to go to New York for 2 weeks. And he did. He took off, and I had nothing to do. I said, well, you know what? This time I surrendered. I was like, it was one Saturday. I called one of my brothers. He came and picked me up. I said, take me by the ABC store and bought my last pint of vodka, and I drank it between here and the hospital. And I spent the best detox days of my life. I knew I was sober, and for some reason I was like, wow. And I got out. Went to a meeting in Bass. Next night I came to a meeting here. My nephew, Brian, picked me up. And I said, Brian, I need a sponsor, man. And he said, dude, you find one right here. And we pulled up, and I found him. He's standing right at the door out here. Y'all know who he is. I got a good one. I'm not going to give him a big head, but it's a good sponsor. And to you new people out there, you know, if you don't have a sponsor, get one, because you won't do this by yourself, I guarantee it. I'm not going to guarantee it. I'm not going to promise you, but I can just tell you, I've heard it from so many different, there's nobody that I know has done it by themselves. There is, but you've never seen them in here. God bless their souls. That just came out. Thank you. There's a few people out there that have done it by themselves, but my dad was one of them. He could quit and stay sober. But you know what? You know what he did? He got active. He did something. Every time he got sober, he got busy doing something, some sort of a project. And I remember that. Smart man. I got one with my sponsor, and I'm going to tell this to the new guy out there now. We got with a group. We started going through the book, and I didn't call him and say I'm not going to make it tonight. I was here. It was Monday nights and Thursday nights, and if there was something happened we couldn't do it. But I was here with him. And we read maybe a chapter each, you know, we got through the 164, you know. We got held up at step 4. That's my fault. That's one of my character defects of procrastination, but I didn't procrastinate it. I just didn't want to rush it because I had a hard time with resentments. You know, all the rest of step 4 was you know, okay, but there's a few resentments in there that I had a hard time with, you know, and I still struggle with them even after doing the 5th step with them. But we also did it with a group, and Sunday mornings, 3 hours a morning for about, what, 6 or 7 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, until we got through 164 pages. I did it in some of those people in this group right now, or in this room right now, and that was some good stuff, man, because, you know, you could kind of stop and talk about it. I mean, you stop, when I was doing it with my sponsor, we did it, but I started learning a little bit about how this deal works, you know, and my mind's still not back in this first year. It's taken all the way up till now, and I'm still not completely back with clarity, full clarity, and I don't know if I'll ever get back there, but it's a whole lot better than it was. A whole lot better than it was. I can sit there and I can sit in and share in the topic meetings, and I'm starting to know a little bit about what I'm saying before I was babbling. But that's all right, you know. I try to make those meetings. I make about 3 a week, and that's just enough to get me through. I was trying to make 5 to start with, and I'll make 5 if it's possible. Driver's licenses hurt me, but you know what? That's another gratitude thing I got going on is, man, I've got 10, 15 people here right now. If I can call you. You're on my contact list. I can call you, and you're there for me. And it's not just me. That's just the way. That's the internet of this program. It's like we're here for each other. We got each other's backs. That's another thing about Alcoholics Anonymous, man. We think the same thoughts. We share the same thoughts. And that's the great part of the program is we're sitting there doing a discussion, and I know what I want to say, and call on somebody before me, and he says the same thing I'm thinking. I'm going, man, thought thieving fool. Man. But that's good stuff, you know, because and I just get that much more every time. Now, the second year, we get another group. Few different people, but also with my sponsor, and we did 164. We also did the traditions with the group, and I'm just getting that much more each time I do this stuff. And we went through the steps again, me and my sponsor, to 4 and 5, and this time I got it really cleared up, you know, because it's been another whole year, and I got a little more clarity, and this is all possible from a higher power. God, you know, God's my higher power, but you know, God, my higher power, I'm going to explain my higher power to you, and it presides right here in me. It's my heart, my soul, and my conscience. That's how I put my higher power together, you know. If my heart's working to please and do whatever and do the right thing, then I'm okay with that. My conscience keeps me clean from that bad stuff, and then I'm having a good day. You know, my conscience will stop me from doing the wrong thing, and it does. Even if, you know, it might be something to sleep. I'm not perfect. I'm still making mistakes. But and God's got my soul. That devil don't have it no more, man. That little red devil sitting right there, he's sitting there for a long time. But when he went, it's like a hand was put on my shoulder and said, I got you. And it's been that way for the last 2 years, ever since that last drink I took before I went into detox. I didn't have a spiritual experience or anything, but that obsession left me that day. I've heard other people up here tell their experiences, you know, and some people struggle. It takes them a few years to get that, and I'm very grateful for that. I want to end this thing with, to the new person out there. Like I said, I know that you're having some, you know, you're having some emotional stuff for sure. I know, because if you're not, then wow. Because I did, it was terrible, especially that first year. I never had the obsession to drink, but I went through some ups and downs, that roller coaster they call it, but I survived it, and I'm still surviving it. And when you hear this one day at a time, only it's just for today, that's for real. You know, if you do those, if you work those principles, and the principles, you know, this stuff that you've learned through life anyway, you just lost them. I did. I lost them, and I've got them back now. You know, it's like tolerance. That's a tough one. Patience is a real tough one. Honesty is simple. Love, you know, that's a big principle. Giving. If there's any way somebody looks like, if you can give somebody something, like give somebody a ride to a meeting, that's a big one. Anyhow, all that stuff got me here today, and I hope that you new people out there get what I've got. Just keep working, do what you do it daily, and you'll get here. And thank y'all for listening to my story.